All right, guys, it's time to give the old CJ7 a little love. So what I'm gonna do today is change the instrument panel, or it's basically one gauge that does everything. So I got here a new speedometer, fuel and temp, does turn signals and everything. Mine, nothing really works on it anymore. The fuel gauge only works when you have a full tank, and then once you get down to about 3/4, it'll go straight to empty after that. And the tank and the sending unit is new. So the temperature gauge does not work. The speedometer bounces really bad and is way off. Now I know it's not going to be perfect because it's on 35s, as you can see, so it's going to be off, but I'd like to have some kind of idea on the speed, and maybe one day I'll change the speedo gear, if that's even an option in this. I've never even looked. So let's go ahead and get this in. Let me walk you guys over to the Jeep here. I'll show you what we got going on. So here is the speedometer and gauge cluster, whatever you can call it. The only thing it doesn't have is oil and temp, or sorry, oil and voltage. I have an aftermarket temp gauge, but I changed the manifold a couple years ago. Put a 4-barrel manifold on this, and the new temperature gauge will not work. So let me get set up, and there's basically 4 bolts and some wires you had to take off on the speedo cable to take this off on the back. It doesn't look too difficult, but let me get set up and I will show you guys what entails. I guess you can see the four holes right here. That's all it takes. And then all of these holes are for the lights, indicators for like the forward drive light, turn signals, high beams, brakes, stuff like that. And then here are the 2 for the sensors. So it should be pretty easy. Let me go ahead and get the old one out. I'm gonna get you guys set up so you can see what I'm looking at underneath the dash, and go from there. All right guys, let me see if I can get you back here. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's the back of the gauge cluster. I'm gonna try to pull the whole gauge cluster out without taking the wires out. As you can see, there's kind of wires everywhere on this thing. It's been hacked up and all kinds of stuff over the years, and I've never gone through it. This Jeep has been pieced together. It's part of a CJ5 from like 78, I believe. I believe the drivetrain from a CJ5, and the rest has just been hacked together. I think it was a 4-cylinder Jeep, and somebody decided they wanted to put a V8 in it, so it does have the AMC 304 V8 with a 3-speed manual. So which I like. I like to have the 4-speed manual, but the 3-speed works. So let me get you guys underneath here. So basically, underneath here, see if you can see. My hand's gonna be in the way, but here are the little bolts. Oh no, there it is. Sorry, there's the little bolts. So I'm gonna take those off and try to pop this out. Let me bring you guys back when I got it out. So all right guys, it's all unbolted. So we're gonna see if we can weasel this out. Actually, I might need to take the speedometer cable off. I might have enough. I've always wanted to redo the wiring in this thing, but man, it's so hacked together. I think I'm gonna have to get a whole wiring harness for it. I really don't want to do that. So, all right. Let me go get some pliers to take the speedo cable off, and I'll be able to get that out a little easier. I might go buy some new bulbs for it. I might have some. I can't remember what kind these take, so I'll have to go look. But let me finish getting this out. Let me go get the speedo cable or a wrench to get it off, and we'll get it all the way out. All right, got a wrench. This should just unscrew. Might be nice if we had a smaller wrench. Once you break it loose, it should come out pretty easily. While I got this out, I might be able to reach in here and clean some of the wiring up a little better. I got some space. Alright, so there we go. Get you guys in here. There it is. There's the back side of it. It looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Like I said, the only thing I need to mess with is the light bulbs. Everything else is just plug and play. I just got to make sure to get them in the right spot. So let me set you back down here, and let me take. So I do not have this style of bulb, so what I might do is run to the parts store and get all new light fixtures for this, because I want everything to work. So let me take another one out. Let me take this turn signal one out. Yep, it's the same. So they're all the same. So let me run to the parts store real quick and get some new bulbs. Maybe I can get LED ones and replace them. So we're starting from scratch. I do want to go ahead, let me see, match this up. Yep. So I got two wires here, and it's nice because it looks like these just go right on the posts. So it's nice and easy. The only difference is I noticed, what light is that? This one has a light in the bottom, and this one doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the only difference, is the light in the bottom, which this one's been spliced in, so that might not even be factory. So, but let me run the parts store. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we're back. We got the light bulbs. They only had 4. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna set up a little test. I'm gonna test these old ones and see if any of them are good. Let's see. I think I technically need 8, but I think some of these are good. I think the turn signals are good. What other ones? I don't really need the brake on the forward drive. Those sensors are not hooked up. So, in fact, I don't even think that transmission has a sensor anywhere on it for the forward drive. So, I don't really need that. But I'm gonna go through and definitely replace the lights, because the lights do not work. I do know when you turn the light switch on, none of the lights come on the gauge cluster. So let me go ahead and start switching these out. I'm gonna try to do them one at a time. This might be a little difficult. I'm gonna set you guys up here so you can see, but I'm gonna do one at a time. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's see which ones are the lights. So I believe these top two are lights. I believe that one's a light, that one's a light. These two are turn signals. I'm not sure here. There's a way this one's. These are slightly different. So okay, so this is high beam. These are the turn signals. This is a light. No, this is. That's weird. Those are green like they're turn signals. But they don't really line up with it. I think I might just have to experiment with this. Just switch them out, test them, and then put them in and see. This is the high beam, and these are definitely turn signals. I guess the rest are just lights. Oh, I bet this one and this one. This is the forward drive, and this is the brake. I don't even know if you guys can see this. So let me run over this again. Set up here. So this bulb is for the high beams. This is for the instrument cluster lighting. This one, and this one. These two are turn signals. That's the forward drive. That is the brake switch, which doesn't really work. It's once in a while it'll come on if I have the parking brake on, or the e-brake. And this one does not have a sensor in the transmission for the forward drive, so I don't need that light. So let me go and replace the rest of them, and I'm probably going to set you guys up on the tripod here. So alright guys, alright, get you guys set up. So let me just go ahead and start replacing these one at a time. I'm gonna do this side first, these four. See, that one's definitely blown, and it's a different kind of bulb. So hopefully the ones I have work. So let me go ahead and replace that one. Let me get this up here. Let me see if I can get some of this wire out of the way here. Tuck it up there for now. So that's why they're different. So these big bulbs don't fit in here. So I'm gonna have to go back and get the other kind, but they do fit in here. They just pop in. I like to put them in there and give a little twist. I'm just gonna put this one right in the hole until we go get a bulb. else hooked up. It's hooked up. Everything's hooked up. I'm gonna slide it in here, but oh, let me. I'm gonna slide it up in here. I'm gonna put the, let me hook the Speedo cable back up. It just goes back on. You might have to twist it a little bit to get the wire lined up. Alright, so looks pretty close. It's a little different. I think it's going to be alright. Let me have it lined up. So there's an issue I can already feel, and I was wondering why one of these studs wasn't alright. Let's see if I can get you guys in here. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but the stud right here is bent, and on the old cluster they just took and bent the tab out of the way. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna see if I can bend this back. So excuse me, let me go get some pliers and see if I can bend it back. All right guys, we are continuing with the Jeep instrument cluster. So I installed the new one. There you go. And absolutely nothing is working on it. Like I said in the past, the wiring on this Jeep is really bad. So I'm not sure if there's a ground issue or a power issue, but none of the gauges want to work. The fuel gauge worked a little bit, but it was way off. So I think I'm going to dive into that another time. I haven't had a fuel gauge and a temp gauge the whole time, so the Jeep does not run hot. I would like the speedometer gauge to work, at least give me an idea what my speed is. I think the cable has gone bad, so I ordered a new cable, and I'm gonna try and install it and see what it does. What I believe I'm gonna do, if I can do it without destroying it, is hook a drill up to the cable and see if it spins the speedometer. I tested the old speedometer and it was jumping a lot, which made me think the speedometer was bad. But when I went and hooked up to the drill and kept it at consistent speed, it didn't. It went to that exact speed. So I'm actually thinking the cable might have been bad and the speedometer was fine. So I still have the old one. If this one doesn't work, if something's wrong with the speedometer on this one, then I'll just put the old one back in it with a new cable. So let me go ahead and start taking this apart. I have another issue that I might put in this video as well. If you notice, I have a giant oil leak. So it looks like the transfer case decided to spring a leak. I'm not sure why. It's never leaked in the past, and all of a sudden it just dumped everything out. So, well, not all of a sudden, over a couple days of sitting here, it leaked. It looks like everything out. So I'm gonna crawl underneath there and take a look. There is a, let's see, a belly pan on this, or a little pan to cover it. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take that out so I can check and see where it's leaking from. I think it's leaking from, there's a gasket down there, and on the transfer case. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll bring you in closer later, but there is a there's a gasket. There's a little square pan, so you can access the gears and stuff, that I think might be leaking. That's where most of the moisture, the oil looks like it's coming from. So, but let me I need to scoot this up a little bit so that I don't lay in oil, because the speedometer cable is down there as well. So let me scoot this forward a little bit, and I'll get started on removing the cable. All right, guys, I'll bring you back once I start doing that. All right, guys, here is the transfer case. Speedometer cable goes right in the back. All you need is a wrench or something to take it off. So here's a leak. Get you guys in there so you can see it. I think it's coming from the pan, but I think I'm gonna take a wire wheel to this and kind of clean it up. But I'm gonna have to take this pan off, which means I need to get a jack underneath here and support the transmission and the transfer case. So let me go ahead and do the speedometer cable. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. There's not a lot of room here, so there's a lot of room on the back side, but I can't. There we go. It shouldn't take that much to loosen it. Oh, I need to get some cutters. I just saw the. Pull it out and look at it. It feels all right. I don't know what the gears are made of. There's a chance that they're plastic and they're wore out, especially if this thing started dumping oil. But let me get some cutters. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna try to weasel this on the side and put the drill on the end of it and see if I can get the speedometer to spin. So that'll tell me, that'll give me an idea what it is. Sometimes you can pull on these if they're broken. They'll just pull out. But I think this one has some kind of retainer. And I will say it's kind of hard to spin. Sorry, guys. It seems like it's hard to spin. So, all right. Let me come back and let me get some dikes and cut that zip tie, and I'll bring you guys back when I got the drill set up and everything. All right, guys, I got the speedometer cable hooked up to the drill. I'll set you guys up and see if we can see the speedometer. All right, let's see if it moves. It's not moving. It's trying to a little bit. I think the cable's bad. So the end of the cable on the end that goes in the speedometer is plastic. Let's see if I can reach. Oh, wires everywhere. So I'm gonna reach up here, undo it, and pull it out and see, because it sounds like it's slipping. I think the speedometer might be bad. So here's the end. Just plastic. It didn't really feel wore out, but oh, maybe. Let me see if, oh, it fell over. Let me see if I can put the drill back on it and see if we make it spin. Where'd it go? I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but okay, it does spin. It does spin, but now that I've got it out of the ways, it does look like it's rounded off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it all the way out. Alright guys, I got the old cable out, it's right there. Here's a new cable. Then on this one is actually metal, so I think it'll hold up a little bit better. Let me show you the other one. So this one is, the part that goes in the transmission is metal, but this one is plastic, as you can see, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's not shaped quite right. I think it's wore down to where it's slipping. So I'm gonna put the new one in and try it. I actually stuck the new one in the old speedometer and hooked it up, and it worked. So I'm gonna hook it up to this one, then hook up the drill and see if it spins. There is, well, this one doesn't have it, never mind. I was wondering if by accident I spun it backwards and broke the speedometer off like a post or something to where it wasn't spinning on the shaft, but there's no post in this one. So let me hook it up and see. I really hope this is it. When I put these together, I like to put a little grease on the ends so that it cuts down on noise and hopefully makes it last a little longer. But let me go ahead and put this in. I'm gonna go put a dab of grease in there, and I'm gonna put it in, and I'll bring you guys back when it's done. All right, guys. There's definitely something wrong with the speedometer. I can get it to read a speed. The drill has to be turning pretty fast, and when I turn the drill off, the speedometer just stays at whatever speed you left it at until you wiggle the cable. So there's something binding in the speedometer. I'm gonna take it out and check it out. What I might do is I might take this one apart and use parts from the other one and make one speedometer. Normally I would send the part back, but I've had this one for so long I don't think I can. So I'm gonna try to make one out of two or something, or take this apart and see if I can figure out what the deal is. So alright guys, I'll bring you back whenever I find out something or figure something out. So alright guys. Alright guys, I got both speedometers out of the Jeep. I actually think this is loose. The little arm, the way it gets stuck and doesn't really move, and I think it's the arm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this apart, take this cover off, and see if it moves or see if it comes off. Maybe I get lucky and it just needs glued on. So if not, I'm gonna try to take these two and make one. The speedometer seems to actually work in here, even though it wasn't in the vehicle. I think because the cable was wore out, it was slipping. So, but let me take this apart and see. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll just be the arm. So I might set you guys up so you guys can see this come apart. Give me 1 second, let me get set up here. All right, so the back looks like it just pries off. There's just these little indentions here, so I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna try to bend these out. Yeah, that's it. The metal's pretty soft, just work it around. You can actually get just a speedometer kit that just replaces the speedometer in your old gauge. Because I was having problems with other ones and I thought it was actual gauges, not the wiring, I just bought the whole thing, which turned out to not be the case. Alright, so this should just pop off. It might need some working around. One side. And it's off. There we go. Nice and simple. Alright, so not quite sure if this just pulls off. Doesn't feel like it, which tells me it's not. Let's see how, see like I rotate it. It's really slow moving, and so let me take the screws out of the back and see what it looks like. Let's see. I think these are all that holds it in. Yep, it just fell out. Right. There we go. So the mileage gears are spinning. All right, guys. So I did some work on the new one, and I got it working. So I got it working. Let me take the cable off and show you what I did. All right. All I did was this little arm. This is what stops the speedometer, so it won't go past the point. I don't know if you guys can see that. All right, so that little arm in there, it stops it from going. I think it was actually resting on the moving part, so it was making it drag. So All I did was bend it out a little bit. It's still at the 5 mile an hour, so I might bend it out a little bit more. Kind of wonder what happens if you just let it all the way out. But so it is. Actually, I'm gonna leave it there. It looks like it's pretty good. It's not touching. So I'm gonna put this back together. Actually, before I put it back together, I'm gonna try to test these gauges in here. These gauges. And see if I can get them to work. Maybe I can get them to work outside of the Jeep, and that'll give me an idea of maybe there's something wrong with the wiring in there. So let me get that going. So let me see if I can figure this out, and I'll get back to you guys. All right, I was able to test the gauges. They work. The speedometer, oh, that speedometer seems to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it back together. Let me see if I can find some dielectric grease I'm gonna smear on the edge here to kind of help it seal a little bit, keep some moisture and some water out. But I'm glad the gauges work. I'm glad I got the speedometer to work. Let's get it back in the Jeep and figure it out from there. So I clearly have a power or ground issue. All you have to do to test these is just put 12 volts. So this is the ignition as an eye. So I hooked up a positive to this, which allowed me to test this sensor and this sensor. You hook the ground up, and if your needle moves, your gauges are good. So I don't even know if you guys saw that. So I'll repeat myself here. So all you do is hook a positive up. This is the ignition as an eye. So positive up, and then I hooked a negative to here. I would just touch it and the gauge would move to full. So I know this gauge is good. And then I did the same thing over here. I just left the ignition here and same thing here, and it worked. So gauges are good. It's definitely something with the Jeep's power. So which is good and bad. At least I kind of know that this works, and the speedometer works now. So I'm going to put it all together. Like I said, let me find some grease, and I'm going to put grease around the edge here. I don't want to seal it like solid because I want to be able to take this apart just in case in the future. So all right, guys, let me get it back together, and I'll meet you guys back at the Jeep. All right, guys, we got the speedometer in. I got the temperature gauge working. Fuel shows a little bit of fuel, but I think there's more in there than that. So I'm gonna go fuel it up at the gas station, see if it goes up. And on the way, we'll test the speedometer. I think I might have just had some wires hooked up wrong for the gauges. Although the ignition wire is only reading 6 volts, so I haven't looked up to see if that's normal or not. But temperature gauge is working, which is nice. I can remove the manual one that doesn't work anymore. Well, can't work used on this vehicle. The intake doesn't have a port that's big enough for the probe. So, but let me go down the road and see how the speedometer does. Hopefully it works. Let's go. the speedometer works. It's about 10 miles an hour off, which I think is what it was before. Fuel gauge is a little off. I'm at 3/4, but the tank's actually full. But that's still a lot better than it was before. And the temperature gauge is kind of all over the place. 1 minute it's pegging out, and the next minute it's not. I wonder if... So, I don't know what's going on with that. The Jeep definitely isn't running hot. It never has. But this is a good stopping point. I think I have wiring issues. I don't think there's anything wrong with the gauge, but possibly. There is an adjustment on these, it looks like. So I might be able to go in there and adjust the resistance. I haven't tried it, but I can definitely do that. And then I'm going to look up replacing the speedometer gears in the transmission, see what that entails. But alright, that's it guys for this video. I'm going to do the transfer case on another video, and if there's any other repairs, probably the wires at some point. I really want to do a painless wire harness for this. They're about $400. I think it would definitely help out with some of the issues with the Jeep. So but alright guys, till the next video, you guys take it easy.